Universal Orlando Resort is filled with some of the best rides in the world. It has everything from hyper-immersive dark rides to amazing shows to top-tier roller coasters. This resort has it all, but what are the top 10 rides you must go on while you're here? Number 10, we have Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. While this is personally my least favorite of the three big Harry Potter rides at the resort, it's still a fantastic experience. You go through the gorgeous looking bank, and then you go down the stairs and board the carts to get to the bank vaults, where you'll join Ron, Harry, and Hermione to steal the Horcrux from Bellatrix. While this is still a fun ride, the reliance on the screens do knock it down a bit in my rankings, but the other two Harry Potter rides clearly learn from this mistake. Number 9, we have E.T. Adventure. I'm going to be honest, this ride is very nostalgic for me. That forest scent in the queue is one of my favorites. I even have the scented candle in my room. The theming for this ride is also top tier. The amount of detail and immersion is very impressive, especially when you remember this ride was built in the 90s. Despite the animatronics being fairly static and rigid, the theming and atmosphere more than makes up for it. It actually looks like you went to an alien planet, and it's a fun ride the entire family will love. I'm hoping this ride doesn't go anywhere soon, despite it being there since the park first opened. Number 8, we have Men in Black. This is a classic shoot and dark ride themed to Men in Black. While it's starting to show its age a bit, it's still fun for the whole family where you can engage in some friendly competition. This is a must-do ride every time I'm at the park, and I'm hoping Universal doesn't get rid of it anytime soon. Number 7, we have Spiderman. This dark ride laid the foundation for every dark ride since it opened over 30 years ago. It's still an amazing ride that holds up to this very day. You start off as a reporter at the Daily Bugle and end up following Spider-Man around in the Scoop vehicles. You quickly get into trouble when Spider-Man encounters several of his enemies, including Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, and other members from the Sinister Syndicate. This ride has a lot of cool effects, including water, fire, and the sensation of falling. This ride is fun for the whole family. Number 7, we have Transformers. A lot of people don't like that I put this ride over Spider-Man, but I really do think it's the better ride. They use an identical ride system, which doesn't bother me because it's still a fun ride, but I think the Transformers theming is a bit cooler and I like seeing the big robots fight throughout the city. Number 5, we have the Incredible Hulk coaster. This coaster has a special place in my heart. It was my first real roller coaster that I went on when I was barely tall enough to meet the height requirement. This is the coaster that turned me into an enthusiast. The launch into the Zero G roll is an experience I'll never get sick of. It has a lot of good forces. I frequently gray out on it, especially on those hot summer days. It does feel a little bit slower and meanders after the mid-course brake run, but it's still an amazing ride and I absolutely love the theming on it. It also has one of the best soundtracks for a ride I've ever heard, but I don't think I could play here because of the copyright. But it fits so perfectly and it adds another layer of enjoyment to the ride. Number 4, we have Revenge of the Mummy. This is a fun indoor roller coaster themed to the creation of the original Mummy film, but you quickly realize the curse is real. This ride includes a backwards drop, a 180-degree turntable, an upwards launch, and a room with fire. This coaster is definitely more on the thrilling side, mostly because of how dark it is. You can't really brace yourself for all the twists and turns, but it's still a lot of fun and it's a must-do anytime I'm at the park, and it's also one of my favorite rides from my childhood. Number 3, we have Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. This is one of the best themed rides I've ever seen. The level of detail is mind-blowing. Even the queue has so many little details that most people won't even notice. The ride itself also has an immense level of detail. They planted so many trees and they're still growing, so it'll make the Forbidden Forest even better as time goes on. This ride does have some thrilling moments too, including a spike, a vertical drop, and a 50-mile-per-hour launch. At the time this ride was built, it was the most expensive ride in the world, and it shows. But there is one Harry Potter ride that beats it slightly for me, and that's Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Not only is this my favorite Harry Potter ride at the resort, it's one of my favorite rides overall. Being able to step directly into Hogwarts Castle is an unforgettable experience. The ride system also allows you to get incredibly close to the big set pieces while remaining completely safe. You'll encounter fire-breathing dragons, massive spiders, a Whomping Willow, and even the Dementors. Every bit of this ride is perfect, and it also has a nice blend of physical set pieces and screens. The level of detail for this ride is absolutely top tier. Feels like every time I ride this ride again, I see something that I haven't noticed before. And despite this ride opening in 2010, it still holds up as one of the best dark rides in the world, and it's in my top 5 favorite rides of all time. And number 1, we have VelociCoaster. Everything about this ride is perfect. The theming for the queue is amazing. The animatronic velociraptors look insane. The ride vehicles have this cool futuristic look to them. The ride itself doesn't have a single dull moment. The first half has amazing theming. The launch and inversions feel really good. It's got a couple really good pops of airtime that feel like it's going to yank you out of your seat if you're sitting near the front or the back row. That second launch into the top hat is unforgettable. It really feels like your soul is going to leave your body. Zero G stall is really fun, and you get a few more moments of airtime and twisting around before you go into the Mosasaurus roll. I love this element so much, it feels like you're going to hit the water. This is personally my favorite ride at the resort, and it's my favorite roller coaster in the world. If you're a thrill seeker, this is definitely one you don't want to miss out on. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could like and subscribe to help with the YouTube algorithm, it would help me out a lot.